try to not tell any secrets.
No, it's live. It's live
about near personal life.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening, guys. How are you tonight? Tonight or today, Norm? Right? It's a day in your place?
It's afternoon here.
Afternoon here. So where are we catching you?
Just a couple hours north of Toronto.
North of Toronto. It's very cold there now, right?
I'm looking at a snowstorm. Yes, it's cold.
How is the health condition there? Like, how is the corona situation?
I think it's like the rest of the world. We've seen an increase. We're in lockdown. Montreal is even worse. They've got a curfew. They can't come out after 8 o'clock. But we're stuck here. I can't travel. So I usually try to get to the States a couple times a month. Can't do it. Just for the last year, I haven't been able to do it.
Okay, so I can give you guys one advice that I'm doing now. Don't watch news. It's depressing. Like everything is so not positive about the future. So I'm trying to watch movies and TV series, but not the news. Okay, guys, before we start, I just want to go to our group and to see that we are live now.
So while you're doing it, no, I just received last week the injection, so I'm supposed to be okay. I hope. Or I have a new chip.
Or a second head.
Or you have a new...
Yeah.
So everybody was asking me if they injected the chip, so I said, yeah, I received 2 because I need also the international one.
Did you check if you have a new tail?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
You do?
I think it's funny, and I'm learning to use it. And
now you can't hide your feelings anymore. Each time you will see me again, it's gonna be like that.
Yeah, or the opposite.
Or the opposite. Okay, guys.
This will be the beginning that you've never expected.
Okay, guys. So before we will start and before I will introduce you, we will take a few minutes until all our viewers will join the broadcast. And meanwhile, I want to do one important action. I will share that broadcast in my other groups and in my personal profile. So please, dear guests and our viewers, that you can see us now. You're more than invited to do the same, and will help our wonderful group to Amazon nonstop to grow more, and of course to let to more people to get great knowledge like we're gonna get tonight. So I will take a minute near Norm. I'll back in 1 minute. You can continue. You can keep talking.
So I can tell you, Norm, that your dog is back.
He's here. He's wanting a treat.
It's not freezing outside.
Oh, okay. Here you go. Want to come up and say hi? Come on, up. That's a jump. Come here.
But now you're stealing my move.
Come on, up. Yeah, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't say he was smart.
But he is nice. He's nice. When you used to travel every weekend, I saw like the photo of the week with the dog. So
yeah.
And I always ask myself, now he needs to go to the bath with the dog. I mean, not you. Maybe also you.
No, me too.
Okay.
So Igor, can I introduce Norm, because
this is exactly what I wanted to ask. And before you start, I just want to say to Norm that we are very glad to have you here with us, and thank you for cleaning your schedule, and sharing your knowledge with us. And this is from me, from Igal, from Nir, from Amazon Nonstop Group. And now we would like to hear, who are you, Norm Farrar?
Can I steal 1 second of
course,
before you present yourself? So I was thinking, since a few hours now, how will I present you? Because you are a friend, and you are, I would say, one of the nicest people I've met. I know you many years, and at the beginning I didn't understand why people like you so much. And I know that after today, everybody will know. Everybody will understand that. But this is just, you know, just the beginning of understanding you, because I told you, I think a few weeks ago, sometimes, and this is how you have the amazing knowledge. And whenever I'm listening to you, and God knows you have so many podcasts, so always when I'm putting my kid to bed and I just need to read a book, I told you about it, I'm always taking my AirPods with me. So in one ear I have AirPods and I'm listening to you, and I'm reading a book, and then I'm listening on the other ear. And sometimes we need to stop, and then I'm telling him, just a sec, I need to write something, and then I'm writing. And he said, it's the guy with the beard? I said, I'm always answering, yes, he is. He said, oh, I like him. So even my kid likes you.
Oh, that's good.
and it's so worth to hear, because basically every time it's worth the time, and it's enjoyable, and you are so full of knowledge.
Actually,
so
it's
thank you for that.
It's warming my heart. It's warming my heart to see two people that became from two colleagues to relationship of two good friends. So it's a great. And
it's easy with him. It's not about me. It's about him.
How did you meet each other?
I can tell you. Everybody knows him, but you know, for my birthday, I don't know, I think something like 2 years ago, you probably don't remember that, but he just said he reacted to something. I was in a lot, and he reacted to something with diving, or he said something personal, and I said, okay, I like this person, and we just continued this conversation.
Simple as that.
Simple. Yeah. Simple. Okay. Everything is simple in life.
You know what? After you and me told about Norm and did the introduction, maybe it's his turn now.
Yeah, it's not about us.
We are really two purple persons, so please tell us about yourself, about your businesses, about your knowledge, and what we're going to talk about tonight.
Okay, so I gotta thank you, because that's fantastic. I really appreciate it. You're going to swell my head. But anyways, just to give you a little bit of background, I don't want to take up all the time with that, but I got involved by taking opportunities. That's, I think, what I came to the realization, I think that's what I specialize in, is just being able to recognize and take opportunities. From one of these opportunities, I was able to create my first website back in the 90s. And had no idea how to do it. Somebody asked me if I could do it, a large company. I said, of course I can. Hired somebody to do it, got a website up. Then from that, understood that this could be something big, ended up creating a print-on-demand website in 1997, which outsourced to India. Then ended up creating a sourcing company with my family, my brother and my father. We ended up going to Taiwan and opening up 2 contract manufacturing facilities, and doing really, really well with those. And then ended up with a fulfillment company, specialty manufacturing company. After that, oh, well, thank you. What did I do? Oh, I'm just receiving coffee from my wife. Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
But we've been watching you. You know, it's very risky when you have coffee nearby.
Yeah, very.
We've been there.
So you know, when I got into Amazon, all of these things kind of added together. It was perfect business opportunity for me, because I understood e-commerce. I understood how to source, the logistics side, supply chain. And so I kind of just put it all together. And then what I'm doing right now is very simple. I believe in vertical integration. I believe that, you know, to take advantage of what's out there, you should own it. So I've got and this is with great people. So it's not just, I couldn't do it. So I've got great people at the helm. I've got a sourcing and logistics company really good company called Honu Worldwide. I've got a content or communications company that specializes in content, press releases, and public relations called PR Reach. I've got a chat agency and that's a chatbot agency. We specialize in launching, ranking, maintaining, while building influencers and brand ambassadors. So those are the main companies. I also have a lead gen company, a couple other things, but that's in a nutshell what I do.
Okay. So, guys, should we start to talk tonight? I want to tell our viewers that tonight we're not gonna have any presentation. We're gonna do it freestyle. So, do you think it's a good idea to start with launching and marketing, ranking?
Yeah, we could do that. Let me see here. I've got give me 2 seconds, and we can definitely do that. If we want to start with that.
Of course.
Meanwhile, I can tell you that our mutual friend Shane is sending you regards. He's also about to go to listen, at least.
Oh my God!
I said, if you want to join us here, I told him that he can always do that. So.
Okay, and we have a message from the viewer Rom Shibi that told you to do not be happy about your coffee because she's bringing the credit card bill next.
Yeah. No doubt she will. And by the way, Shane Oglo is one of those really incredible people that I look at that help me out tremendously. I couldn't do what I do without a person like him. So, and Nir, you know him, he's a very intelligent guy, runs a great, runs the business like night and day. I couldn't do it without him.
I'm basically speaking with him every day.
Wow.
Every day. Yeah.
I'll what the heck is he doing? Spending time talking to all these people. He should be running the
business. We are calling it our Seinfeld talk. We're talking about nothing and about everything.
I think that Neil have more than 24 hours in a day, because he have hours of talks with people in his phone and the Messenger and the WhatsApp. And he somehow he is success. He have a success to finish all his tasks. I don't know how he do it, but it's a gift, Nir.
Me too. I don't know how he's doing it.
Do you sleep?
Me?
Not. No. He was talking about me. Yeah, no, I'm not sleeping. I'm about 3.5, 4 hours. But
that's crazy.
Okay, guys. So let's start. We have many viewers. I think that's a good time to start our professional subjects. Okay, so Norm, are you ready?
Sure. So if we want to talk about launch strategy, I think it's very important that everybody that's listening, you can't put one launch strategy and say, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. There's a variety of different ways of doing it. Now, it really depends. People say, what's your launch strategy? And it's okay. Yeah, I have a couple. We're going to talk about them right now, but it might not fit into your niche. It might not fit into your price point. There's a lot of different things. You've got to try it out. And if you don't try them out, you'll never know, what's going to fit. But ideally, you want to start off. I call it the 4 pillars of launch success. So PPC is definitely one. When I'm launching a product, well, actually, I'm going to go back even one further. I don't usually talk about this, but people don't think about it. A lot of people don't think about this when they're launching a product. I'm old school. When I launched product in the past, back in the 80s or 90s, and I'm talking about, yes, I was in business back in the 80s, but we had to pre-launch things. So we would have to make sure that, just like today, that the message was out there. How did you get it? How did you promote it? Well, today you can do that by a variety of different methods. So, and that's why we did the communications company. Can you release press releases? Can you release content? Can you build your website? Can you build social media? How do you get to the point where somebody going from a micro brand, your brand on Amazon, a private label seller, to trust you? They don't. They'll never buy your product if they don't trust you. So how do you build that? You do this pre-launch. You make your brand consistent. And when they go to Google, they'll see that you have a website. So it looks like your bricks and mortar. You have content on there that's half good. You have social media that's consistent, not slapped together. You might have some social proof. You might have already sent out 5 or 10 rebates, or not rebates, but to just friends and family, that you send you a picture with the product, just so you have social proof. Now, when you come up to your product launch, people go and they see your product. Now they have authority. Authority leads to trust. Trust leads to sales. It's the only 3 things that count: authority, trust, and sales.
Nice. I agree.
That's how you build your brand. So once that happens, we have what we call these 4 pillars. One is PPC. You don't have to dive deep. You don't have to be, throwing tons of money at it. But what I used to do and what I'm doing now is a little bit different. I'm taking an automatic campaign. I'm bidding a little bit high, just so I can get placement. And it used to only have a very short run, like 2 to 3 weeks, and then it would just be a catch-all. Now I'm keeping that automated campaign running. And the reason I can do that, and this is more for an intermediate, you can just keep your automatic campaign going right now for all the beginners, but for people intermediate to advanced, start negative targeting your ASINs. You'll be amazed at the results you'll get, depending on your niche, of course. But we used to just do, get penny sales and target a catch-all, and okay, we'll bid 5 or 10 cents and see what we could get. Now we keep it up. We bid competitively automated. And by removing the negative ASINs, all of a sudden we've got really great campaigns. And I've seen it, I'm not kidding, where we've had to double our budget, triple, quadruple, because we were getting that many sales out of an automated campaign, believe it or not. So the other thing is, I always like to launch with a couple of exact match phrases. Now, that changes after I start getting my search term report that you can get in Seller Central. So and that's why we're bidding a little bit high, so we can get placement. You'll get all the search terms that you can download, and then you can get those exact match words that are converting and create those exact match phrase words, campaigns, I should say. After that, it's that simple right now. We could talk an hour about that. After that, we look at rebates and press releases. So you can take, and what I'm saying is about rebates is you can do 100% giveaway or 95 or whatever it is now, but it's not going to really do anything for you. It'll get you sales velocity, but it's not going to give you any reviews. It's not going to, it's just going to be a sale. That's it, to get velocity at the beginning. What we try to do is we're looking at true rebates. And by rebate, I'm not talking about going to a Facebook group that is free and asking people to buy your product, and then PayPal will, you send the money by PayPal. There will absolutely 100% be an Amazon footprint, guaranteed. You've got to go to companies that will provide more of a concierge service where you say, I have, let's say it's dog treats or bully sticks. So that's a dog treat. You want to go, there's 3 ways of doing this. You want to go out, you build up your group, and that could be from Facebook, that could be from wherever, but you have a group. Now you want them to go to Amazon. You want them to click and then hunt around the listing, add it to cart. The next person, you want to take the same keyword or slightly different keyword, go to a competitor, go to another competitor's listing, click add to cart. Then you want to do the opposite, click add to cart, go and look at a competitor, go and look at another competitor. And it's about time spent. You don't want to just go in and click right away, because that's not a natural. It doesn't make any sense. That's how one way that Google picks up that this is not actual or natural movement. So there's all sorts of these concierge type groups out there. One of the things we run is a management service that provides that, but you can get them Like the one that comes to mind as well is Rank Bell, Isabella Hamilton. She has a service that
she was here.
Yeah, so
like 2 weeks ago, we just talked about their service.
Yeah, so that's a service that you can use. And then what we'll do is, let's say that you go in. This is so important when you're using keywords, doing proper keyword research. So you know, with Shane, we've got this different way of doing keyword research for launches. And I'll explain it if you want. I can go through it if you.
Yeah, sure.
It's interesting. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So there's all sorts of ways to do keyword research. There's all sorts of keyword tools out there. I use Helium 10. The way that I do it is I'll go and I'll use their Cerebral. I'll pick, so I have an ASIN, one of my competitors. I'll put it up there. And then I'll see Get Competitors. I click on Get Competitors. I click on the ones that are most similar. So if they're not similar, let's say you're doing hair wax removal and it's honey hair wax removal, and all of a sudden you're doing hot beads, you're not going to get the same results. So if you see all this honey, you know, hair wax, then you go click on them, get them. And now, very important, you're looking at getting the buying keywords out of the way, or the browsing keywords. Let's say you're a pet owner and you have pet shoes. Okay, and you see that 1 million searches a month, pet treats. They're going to do you no good because the pet owner doesn't know what they're buying. Then you go down, you're looking down the list, you see bully sticks. Oh, great. That's what you want to sell. They know what they're buying, but there's 200,000 in search volume. It's too much. You waste your money. You want to go down and find what we call the primary long tail. So in this case, it could be odorless bully sticks, grass-fed bully sticks. So you take that phrase, and if you're in Helium 10, you go to the advanced filters and you just put the phrase in there. You can separate the one word with a comma, and it'll bring up all the keywords, the long tail keywords that are 6-inch grass-fed bully sticks, 12-inch grass-fed bully sticks, natural odorless grass-fed bully sticks. And you take those keywords, and those are the keywords you ask, the ones with the higher search volume, ask the rebate company to work with. And you don't have to use the amount that is shown. It says amount of giveaways. You can do a third. You can do just a handful if you want, just to see if the keywords are going to bounce. But that's the way that we do it. And then the most important thing, if I can't stress this enough, is that we've seen so many people go out there and they have a great launch, really great launch. They nailed it. And all of a sudden they let it go. They just they don't do any other promotion. So you could do a promotion like that. You give away 50 units and you're ranking on the first page, and then it just falls right off because the competition is coming up and they're pushing you off the page. So all you have to do is continue to promote it. You can throw 2 rebates or 3 rebates against those keywords to keep the position there. So it doesn't cost much afterwards. And the other thing that we do is we write press releases that have the keywords that we're using during the launch. The third pillar is really cool. It's using what Amazon says that they want to build, and that is Amazon posts. They want to build communities around brands. I can guarantee you there's going to be people on this call that are going to roll their eyes and they're going to say, you know, Amazon posts, I don't need that.
No,
you are missing out on a huge opportunity if you're not using Amazon posts. What Amazon posts? Well, so Amazon has a social media platform. It's called Amazon Posts. You can get to it by either in your advertising console, go to the left, you'll see posts, or write post.amazon.com and then build your profile. You will need to have brand registry. So once you have that, you could take any social media image you want, put it there. You can create, you can't put testimonials in, reviews, but you can put social proof. You can put any influencer picture, unboxing. One of the things we did with a chef is we had chefs hold up a knife, and with the knife, they just posed with it, gave us the recipes, and we just published recipes for this knife. Gave us some really great exposure. Here's the key with Amazon posts is that you can take a post, you can publish something from an influencer using your product, not a stock photo with something way too big for the person's hand, but an influencer showing you they're using the product. Put it in Amazon posts. Amazon posts will put it on your competitor's page for free.
Yeah, that's amazing when you see that. Now,
and this is all on mobile, by the way, but now when you're scrolling through, you have what's called a pattern interrupt. It's not a white, it's a product with white background. It looks like a social post. So what do people do? They click on it. So when they click on it, they can do one of two things. If they click the logo, most people don't realize you just click the logo. Now it goes to a dedicated brand feed for the brand where you have an infinite amount of images with the message you want to tell Amazon users. And if you press on the image, it goes to just a regular feed, what's related brand feed, or sorry, a related feed, which is all your competitors. So the more you're posting, the more you're seeing on your competitor's site. What's the key to this? Shoppable. They say if it says show more, you can click on it, drop down. Now it's shoppable, and now you can get off of your competitor's site. You can take a sale away. Now, most people will take a look at that and say, well, who's going to look at it? You get reports. You can see what type of photos, what type of content are engaging. So if something's not working, like maybe a polished product shot's not working, but your unboxing video or images are really engaging, you know that you can post more of those. What I like about it is Amazon's used, I mean, this is incredible. I think it's a play that they made. It takes you 4 to 5 times to buy the product. So for anybody in e-commerce, what does that tell you? It tells you that every time they click, 50 to 75% are going to drop off. So the people that come to buy the product want your product. Yeah. So your engagement, because Amazon sees that it's converting at a very high rate on your listing, that your conversion rate is going to go up, and it will go up a lot. We had one image that had over 200,000 impressions within a few days. Our average for this one with this one brand, 20,000 impressions. Mm-hmm. What does that mean for sales? 100, 200, 500? It converts at around 5%. But when you take a look at the actual sales, we don't know the exact numbers, but we have seen the overall conversion rates go up when we look at the reports. So the last grouping of the pillars, the pillar 4, is working with influencers. Right now, if you're not working with influencers, you're missing out again. Influencers, if you can convert an influencer, so somebody who you pay usually to promote your product, if you can convert that person into somebody who does it for free, wants your product, who's going to buy your product and promote in their network as a brand ambassador, that is it's priceless. So those
are the micro influencers, you mean?
Yes, you can go into nano influencers are probably your easiest target. The high minority you could probably get for very minimal cost as an influencer and very easy to convert to a brand ambassador.
Okay, great. Norm, is it a good time to direct to you a few questions that we got here?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Okay, so Mati asking, what is your placement? Sorry. We had one question before of Eyal. Hi, Norm, do you run your PPC launch campaign even before you have any reviews?
That's an interesting. If I am not running what I call my traffic blitz at the launch. Probably will still have it on, but much lower. If everything is hitting at once, yes. Shane knows this one. If he's listening,
yeah, he is.
Okay, so he'll be laughing. But we took this very, very, very competitive keyword with no reviews. And all I'll say is that it was a weight loss supplement. And we got it ranked on the first page within about a week. No reviews. And it did extremely well. So, yeah, you don't necessarily have to wait for reviews. Reviews, if they're there and they grow organically, it's awesome. But I wouldn't stop my launch because no reviews.
Okay. So to the next question of Matti, what is your placement strategy? Do you use it in order to get to first page? I found it very budget consuming, and anything below 100% increase didn't work well.
Yes, for when you're talking about PPC, it is you will pay for the research, and that's what you want. For me, anyways, there's many other PPC people out there that have different strategies, but for me, I've always done it where you overpay to get the research to make you the money, if that makes sense. So after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, I'll have enough research that now I can convert that automatic campaign into a money-making campaign, reduce the bid, and then you'll start to see, as you're doing the negative targeting, you'll start to see more organic sales or more sales coming through. Yeah, so yes, I'm trying to get it on page one. It's going to cost me a lot more money to get it on page one, but I want to see the keywords that I'm ranking for or converting. You know, what are the best terms that are that my product is being found, if that makes sense.
Okay, we have a surprise here. I can see a guest that joined us. So you ready, guys?
Yeah, this is why I was using my phone.
Actually, it's even surprise for me. So surprise, guys! Look at it.
Oh
yeah, hi.
I really don't want to be associated with.
I'm from Facebook, and I've been actually asked to come on to this to fact check. Norm Farrar is fake news.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have to run everything he wants us to talk about. I'm going to have to run it through me first to make sure.
Okay. How are you?
I knew that it will be fun.
I don't know what he's been talking about, but
he told us about the food supplement that just really succeed, and nobody knows why.
Nobody knows. Yeah. Actually, I was listening for I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so. So all good stuff. All good stuff.
I do have a question, though. When you spoke about helium before, and we're doing it the same, but we have like a never-ending discussion about it.
Yeah.
Which keyword would you target? I mean, in let's call it certain volume. Which one? It's for both of you, by the way.
I think Shane and I are on the same track with this, but my idea is, okay, first of all, clear the buying, get rid of the primary keyword. It's useless. So the primary keyword is the buying keyword, but it's usually too high. Search volume's too high. Go down the list and find out the next high volume keyword that has 2 or 3 keywords, like odorless bully stick. Then when you get your silo, and those are the ones that are all the long terms, I was just describing how you go in and you extract that silo. We do a mix. And depending on the keyword itself, or depending on the niche, we'll target some lower end ones that might have 24 units, okay, or 16 units. And we'll put a few against the primary long tail. So we could use some of the higher, let's say we're using $100. Okay. Probably what, Shane? 40, 50, 60% would target long tail keywords.
Yeah, it depends on how competitive the term is, but yeah. And sometimes you get long term, some long tail keywords that are like super relevant, just don't have the volume, and it just really helps boost that primary.
And you just mentioned
let's take the example that you just gave for the food supplements. Just let's say diet food supplement, some kind of a diet food supplement. So you can find 200,000 search volumes in there, or even more. But this is, of course, nobody will target it. Maybe just the beginning.
Yeah, you wouldn't want
but later on, which if you drill down, which search volumes would you pick?
Well, in my mind, I mean, if the top one's 200,000 and the second one's 120,000, well, 120,000 is not going to get you very far either.
Yeah, nothing.
I think anything that's kind of 10K and below starts to look juicy, but it's relevant. Your primary term might be 12,000 search volume. That's great. I mean, that could be selling 200 units a day or 112 units a day, whatever that number is. I think the other thing too is it's nice when you get a nice gradual split on. So let's say your top term is 10,000. The next one is 6,500, then 3,200, and 1,200, and 800, and 700, and 600. That's nice. Sometimes you'll get 10,000 and boom, right down to 800. There's really no middle ground there to make up. So it's nice when you've got a nice blended transition, if that makes sense too.
Do you trust Helium 10 search volume results?
You can use it as
as a guide,
as a reference.
Yeah,
we use multiple tools, and we'll find that sometimes one is double another. Which ones?
What other tools do you use for comparing?
You can really use any of the tools out there.
Like, I'm not trying to compare and to get the same number. I want to see the same trend in other tools. You know what I mean?
Usually they are all the same. It's just different numbers, but in terms of showing you the let's call the position.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of different ones out there. AMZ Scout, Quantify Ninja, I think, has it.
Yeah, they're from here. We like.
Don't trust that guy.
We love you, Nun.
And then seller tools. There's a lot out there, but it's finding one that that works, and you can compare. What I think we Shane and I hate seeing new sellers going out, and it's going and buying 3, 4, 5, 6 different tools, and because they don't overlap, right? It's almost like the one tool doesn't do the one job, so you got to buy it. The other tool doesn't do the one other thing, so you got to buy that. All of a sudden, you're there with hundreds of dollars worth of tools that you only need for something minor. But at the end of the day, all of this stuff, everything that we're talking about, is about just marketing.
Yeah,
get your source, see the relevance, build out those silos that we were talking about, and Shane was just talking about, let's say that it's 200,000, goes down, the search volume for the next one down, it's 120. You can build out just whole silos there on a secondary, primary long tail.
Yeah. You can build multiple silos out of one heavy term for sure. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
And there's so many. The other thing too, just going back to the tools, let's say that you're fairly new and you went ahead and you paid for Helium 10. Okay, great. Their data may be wrong, but you're going to find out if it's wrong on one side or the other. If it says you need to this many units, and you do a proper launch and you don't even move the needle, well, they were wrong. If you go straight to the top, well, they were wrong on that side. So then you just adjust going forward. Yeah. You just get used to that and you get a feel for where the tool is. That's all.
But you also need to give it a bit of time.
I do. Yeah. One of the pre-launch tests that we'll run for products is that we know, let's say that we have to do 100 units of something, but we might just give out a few units, like 4, 5, 10 units against certain keywords. And then, like Shane was just talking about, we'll see what happens. All of a sudden, you might see an immediate bump. And we know that, hey, Amazon's algorithm really likes this keyword. Others, they could just stay. So where are we going to focus our money? And if it's going to take us less than 100, let's say we only have to do, because it took off so fast, maybe we only have to give 25 against it. So anyways, it's very end. The other, probably one of the most important things that you can do is just double check to make sure your listing and the keywords are indexed. You know, and Helium 10's got an indexer.
And track things, you know, over the time, because sometimes you're just winning one keyword, and then after a few weeks you just lose. It's not worth to invest in that.
Yeah, well, that's right. And I think too, it's really important to know the conversion rate too. Like you need to know you're going after a term that is going to bring sales. But you know, like you know, back in the old days, we always used to do these 1 week or 2 week launches and just smash it. Nah, it's not really the way to go. I mean, it's just, you know, a 7-year-old could program AI to pick that up, right? So it looks unnatural. There are times when you may need to do it, but let the data tell you what to do. So really a launch should be a 3-month process, you know, broken down into 3 phases, for example. I don't know what I'm going to do in phase 2 and 3. I've got an idea, but I'm going to let the phase 1 results, like Norm says, we might just, you know, kind of shotgun approach it just to see what the low-hanging fruit, you know, floats to the top. Wonderful. We could just target those. And if I've got a budget saying, okay, over 4 weeks, we're going to move 250 units on these keywords. Well, if some of those go straight to the top, and I'm hitting it with 12 units a day or 7 units a day or whatever that number is, we don't need to keep the gas on the pedal if we're at number 1. Let's pull it back, and just let the market dictate so we can save those units and put them into phase 2. You know, or put them to a keyword that's not doing particularly well, but you feel is really important. So you just let the data tell you what to do, I think, is the most important thing. And that just takes time, like you said, Nir, to, you know, track and develop and just watch.
So I'm trying. Sorry, no.
I was just going to ask Shane, what happens if you have an electric car? Do you still have gas on the pedal, or?
You know, this is why Facebook asked me to come on this call.
Yeah.
So I'm taking advantage of the fact that you're both there here. So give us one nugget, something about PR, the things that nobody knows.
I've got something interesting, and I know Norm has some stories very similar to this.
This is what I was looking for.
Very interesting. So back, I don't know, maybe 2015 or 2016, something like that, we were doing a product launch. And I used to make this big spreadsheet. I had about anywhere from 15 to 25 different traffic sources. Most of them wouldn't produce much, or maybe the odd sale, you know, Twitter ads and all kinds of things, lightning deals, everything was in there, the kitchen sink, because I wanted to send multiple signals, like just barrage it from all angles, right? Anyway, so I built this big spreadsheet like I usually did, but our shipment was delayed at customs, I don't know, maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks, something like that. And so we canceled the launch. And I was just happened to be one morning, I typed in the brand name. Sometimes I do that just on Amazon just to see how things were doing overall. And I could see this new product was ranked, I think it was like number 53 BSR. So very, very, very well. I was like, holy cow, that's awesome. So I Skyped our operations manager and I said, you did a fantastic job. I can't believe it. You knocked it out of the park. And she said, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, well, I'm looking at XYZ product and it's kicking butt. And she said, it's just left the warehouse in Chicago. It's not even FBA yet. I'm like, what? I double check, and sure enough, it says it's, you know, going to be available in 6 days or something like that, 5 days. I was like, oh, well, we must have got a bunch of pre-orders, right? So I take a look, not one. How is BSR a function, a lagging indicator of sales volume when there hasn't been one sale? So there's something going on with the algorithm there. I'm like, what the hell happened? I look back on the spreadsheet. We canceled everything. Like, we canceled all the ads, canceled everything. We forgot about a press release. A press release went out, and that's what shot the listing to the top. How is that even possible? It's bizarre. And every day, the BSR went down a little bit, so that, you know, in 5-6 days later, whatever, the BSR was like 4,500 or something, which still shouldn't be happening. How is that possible? And I told Norm this. He goes, yeah, no, I've seen that happen plenty of times. There's things like that. But the thing is we can't emulate that. I can't say, hey, I'm going to do one press release for you and it's going to shoot your list. There's so many factors at play. It's just bizarre. It's one of those freaky, weird things. But it just goes to show that those external authority links mean something to Amazon. And they mean something more than ever. And like Amazon's update last year really proved that. Now they have so much more weight on outside sales and traffic than they used to. But it just shows there's things going on with that algorithm. That's why ranking well on Google, sending those social signals, getting influencers, all those things are really important, and they're cumulatively are very, very powerful.
Okay, guys, I think it's a good time for a few other questions.
Sure.
Okay, it's going to be about a little bit different subject. We're going to ask next question about PPC campaign, very general question, which asked Lishai. Which campaigns are you usually adding after the auto campaign, exact campaign and the phrase campaign, and at which stage?
Okay, so after or even during, I'll take a more popular exact phrase just to see what'll happen. So once my search terms have come back after a few weeks and I'm ready to go, I'll start playing around with the exact match, and then I'll play around. Believe it or not, some people here will shake their head, but broad match.
Broad match.
Yep, I do not do phrase match. And you will find that your broad match campaigns right now, because everybody's abandoned them, you'll start to see that you'll start to get some action there. That's
we also like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, it was very interesting answer. Okay, for the next question now, ask Gil Epstein. Hello, Norm. Oh, it's a long question. I saw a webinar you did about post on using authentic photos, and my post doesn't get a lot of impressions. They used to get around 500 to 600 impressions, and now they get only 20, 30. Is it the photos, captions? I tried various strategies, but it doesn't seem to work. On top of that, all the photos before Christmas lost their data. What would you advise to improve my posts?
Yes. So the biggest change that we've seen in Amazon posts, which is in the last little while, has been the ability to post your post a duplicate ongoing. You're not allowed to do that. As soon as you post it, you'll get a message that you can't post it. It's already been posted. You can withdraw it and repost, but you have to withdraw the post from the original post. As for the amount, one of the things I could suggest is there's all sorts of different content you can use. You can use what I'll call a product image or a polished image or a product image, like high quality images. They don't usually convert, or they don't usually do that well. People want to see real people doing or using the product. So you could use a social proof through influencers. You could tell influencers what you want to highlight, on. You can have unboxing videos or images. You can show authorities. Like I was talking about earlier on, we can take a chef who's an authority for a knife, kitchen utensil, and show them using it. You could take that knife and give it to a graduating class at a culinary school, have them posing with it. You can have workers at a food processing plant working with it and taking images. And these are all done through, influencers or building out, campaigns, either through Thomason or through like a paid service, or going out and finding these people. Very simple to do. Then the next step is looking at your reports. Oh, I should mention too, you can use your images from your product listing, from your A+ pages, highlight features or benefits, and then look at your report. So the report's going to tell you everything. Once you publish, let it run for a few days and make sure you download the report. The downloaded report gives you 5 additional columns, and it'll show you what images were engaging, what were not. You'll see that there's going to be a common denominator in some, and those are the ones that I would probably either slow up or eliminate and just concentrate on the ones that people liked. Now, as for the quality of the images, look, you can get somebody that's providing you with social proof, horrible image, but it could be a very high engaging because people trust that it's a real image. So, just put whatever you can out there. There has been a change. There's been a lot more people using posts, and you got to fight for those posts. So if you're just posting once in a while, think of it this way. Your posts can go out to all your competitors. But if they're not relevant in the category your competitors are in, you're not going to be shown. One of the tricks is go and check out where your competitors, what the categories that they're in, and then you can start targeting more of your social proof towards those categories. There's a lot of little ways of doing it, but the more content you put out, the more impressions you'll see, because Amazon's going to start displaying them over more competitors. That's the thing. So when I've got one, and I can show you if you don't believe me, but I got one that's 200,000 that people saw within the first few days. Got another, it's the same brand, but they're 20,000 is the average impressions. Now, it's not the impressions, it's the engagement that you're really counting that's going to drive your sales. But it's content. 3 to 5 times a day we're posting. And so this comes down to influencers, right? How do you get the influencers?
So can you repeat that 3 to 5 times a day?
A day, yes. So, and what that's going to do,
and they're different, right?
Yeah, they're different, and what it's going to allow you to do is get really wide. Like most people will concentrate on like either a category or just being very specific to a keyword. Oh, and by the way, when you're doing, I have no clue about this, but why not throw a keyword in every post that you do?
That's,
you don't have nothing. Yeah.
It's a good nugget.
It's what's very detailed answer. Dear viewers, you keep asking. Not every day we have here such characters on our screen in our group. And now for the next question of Tanya. Norm, hi Norm, where do you publish your PR?
Okay, so there's all sorts of ways that you can publish PRs yourself or find journalists. Harrow, Help a Reporter Out, is one. But for us, the distribution network is everything in a press release. Typically, if you see press releases that are going for free, $10, $19, $49, you're going to go to a lot of junk, like smalltownusa.com, instead of Miami Herald or Washington Post or wherever. And there's a reason for that. There's a lot of, the better quality post, the more expensive the network. So I would probably target, Shane, do you think a minimum would be $100 for a press release for a good quality distribution?
Yeah, anything less than that, you're playing with fire because, like, I mean, oh my gosh, like, just don't do it from a guy from Fiverr or something. You're going to be sent out to a link farm, and we all know nowadays that, bad links are going to hurt you a lot more than help you. So yeah, stay away from the cheapos.
Yeah, and
it's always a good advice.
I was going to say too, every good quality press release distribution. So you've got the press release company that will write press releases for you. Some are distribution companies as well. So if they're doing distribution, ask them for their distribution list. Yeah. And if they only have 4 or 5, or if they have all these ones that you've never heard of before, the other thing is the types of content. A press release will go out over online. So it's going to go to all the news centers that are online. What newspapers, if there's radio, what media or content providers like MarketWatch or Yahoo Finance, Yahoo Finance by itself will give you another 1,400 distribution or websites that you can market on. So yeah, really the most important thing is to ask for the distribution network.
Another interesting thing, and I don't want to plug ourselves here, but you know, we've been doing this a long time with press releases, and one of the things we really wanted to know was, okay, well, yeah, we've seen a lot of these crazy one-off things where press release will just knock it out of the park. Other times, you know, you've got tougher products, tougher keywords, like there's lots of factors involved. And sometimes you wonder, okay, what is the impact my press release is having? Okay, I got this distribution list, wonderful, went to 250 places or 500 or whatever it is. What does that mean for me? Like, maybe I didn't see my sales go up right away. Press releases aren't a traffic tool. They can generate traffic right away, but that's not their primary purpose. It's about building your authority and brand and getting some high quality links to wherever you're directing them to. So what we did was we went out and we have a program. I don't know anybody else is doing this, but we measure your keyword success on Google with this. So we take the title, we take every combination of that title. So if, you know, there's 12 keywords in it's been so long since it's in stats, but let's just say it spits out 450 combinations. We say, okay, you're ranking for, you know, 450 keywords and number one for 220 of them. Great. Some of those combinations aren't going to make much sense because it takes every iteration. That's fine, but it all does support the primary terms. And it's, and I mean, I don't want to give away our PR secrets too much here, but everything rides on the title.
Yeah.
No fluff.
No.
Keep the fluff words out and have your primary terms there. And Google treats press releases as their own unique type of content. So it's very important to make sure that if you write your press release yourself, it's not hard to do. You have to follow that specific format. No spammy links, no linking to pages with spammies, pop-ups. And, you know, Google treats it as a serious thing, and they want to see nice relevancy and linking in there. And a nice, smart, snappy title. But of course, we give you that keyword report. So every time you do a press release, you can say, okay, I got these places I went to. Oh, and I'm ranking, you know, on page 1 for this keyword, page 2 for those keywords. Like, oh, okay. You keep doing that, just like any sort of an SEO authority building program. It's designed to be done over time, not just as a one-off. And you will start to see the movement of those keywords. So it's kind of a nice way of saying, okay, this isn't, you know, money down the drain. Like it's actually having an impact, and you can visually see that.
Yeah, we've had people contact us after they bought a press release, and they're wondering why, you know, they're not national everywhere, and they didn't see 100,000 in extra sales. And there's two different ways to play with content. First, Google loves, they've stated this with the new algorithm, they love news first. That's a fact. They also love content. So if you're providing both, that's a bonus. All a press release is going to do is link your or build your authority, which is going to lead to trust, which is going to lead to sales. And if you do one a month, or if you do one every 6 months, you're going to be doing more than your competitors. If you're using it as a launch strategy to get the word out there, you do multiple press releases. That's just what a lot of people forget. Multiple press releases plus content if possible, with either rebates or with some sort of promotional campaign. And that, if you use the two together, will help support it. You'll notice that we found anyways, that the amount of time that it takes for it to drop off after your initial launch is much longer. It takes a lot longer. So you benefit from that.
Okay.
Do you want to add more questions, or we move to the next?
Yeah, we have one last question. And if you have any other question, a relevant question, if you want to ask, it's completely okay. But I can see here an interesting question of Gil Epstein. What guerrilla methods can you recommend for launching and marketing the product outside of Amazon and with a minimal cost? The question of the questions.
All right. So we get this a lot. You know, people ask us about guerrilla marketing, and it's a really tough one. It depends on the product, the niche, the search volume. But one of the things that just as we started off the podcast, I talked about the traffic blitz. The best thing that you could possibly do is to make sure that you're building that community around your brand. So this is a tougher way of doing it. But if you have already a product out there that has an established list, and I'll get to how you can use that in a second. If you don't have an established list, start building that list one way or the other. Find that list. And then you can take that list and you can either drive it through, like what we're doing at the chat agency, is you're taking that list, you're driving people over to a specific page, you're getting them to buy the products, and you're getting them to buy the product at a much lower discount than 100% rebate. That's one way of trying to get that. And now, by the way, that's turning them into influencers. The other way that we're doing this with a traffic blitz is we do a content blitz where we write a press release, which is linked to a piece of content, which has a little video in it on YouTube, which costs nothing to do. You can do it yourself. Plus, with Shane, he'll create this podcast that doesn't exist anywhere. It's just for the algorithm, slides everything and blow it out. Now, this is a guerrilla marketing technique that's incredible. Shane can back me up on this. We did this for a service provider, a DSP service provider, and it knocked Amazon out of first and second place, depending on the keyword phrase. DSP advertising on Amazon, and there was one other. Amazon called them and said, "What are you doing? How are you doing it? And stop."
Oh, really? And stop?
And stop. Now, if you're going to get that kind of exposure, I mean, that's guerrilla marketing in my eyes. There's lots of ways. Like if you've got a list right now, if you've got a good quality list, a list that's been scrubbed and it's clean, and if you create a Facebook campaign and you nail the list, like in the pet niche or whatever, you're going to get a ton of orders. One other thing, who was it that asked the guerrilla question? Gil?
Gil.
Who is it? Yeah. Who is in the pet niche?
So, oh, he is? Okay. So, yeah. Gil, one of the things that you can do is build that community. So if you get that Facebook group, or if you build a group of people that trust you, if you're just publishing, it takes a bit longer. But if you build up that group, so for me, I was teamed up with Wilfred Lightheart, and we had built up a Schnauzer group to 175,000 people who just had
like a general group. It's like a general group, or like
it was a general group for Schnauzers, you know, the dogs.
Okay.
And anyways, we could sell anything to them, you know, because we had so many. Now that could be in a dog, you know, community. That could be in a specific dog community, a large dog community, rescue dog community. But if you concentrate and build a community, and all of a sudden you have a promotion, well, if you're adding value and all of a sudden you've got a promotion going, you'll see a lot of people signing up for that promotion, or people signing up to your fan page. Last thing I can tell you about guerrilla marketing, nobody's talking about it. Nobody is talking about it, is Google My Business. Google My Business is probably the best. You wanted a secret? That's our secret. You never could target brands before. Google is now targeting brands. You can target Amazon brands, and you can do it yourself. We saw an opportunity with it when we saw this is just so recent that that this has happened, that we teamed up with one of the best, if not the best, Google marketing guys that I know anyways. He told us, he came onto my podcast, and I had no idea the power of what it could do. the target, the content, instantly you get indexed on Google. There's only one way that you can be in Google My Business and have a keyword, like a relevant keyword, is that's number one. What would you pay an SEO company to be number one, you know, in a competitive, and I can go out and I can do this with Google My Business. And I can have shoppable links to the pet products.
How do you do it? So I'm not familiar with that. So.
I'm not going to tell you. You have to sign up.
No, you've got to pay. You have to pay.
Look, you can
Shane,
go.
You know that tomorrow I will on our Seinfeld talk. You will reveal. So let's do it today.
I'm just hearing about this Seinfeld talk, Shane.
It's a talk about nothing.
Yeah.
You can always join us.
Google My Business is absolutely 100% free. It's like an Amazon listing. If you want, you can go in and build it. You have to go in and register. Actually, I got one of the brands. The registration came in today, so now we can go forward and move one of the brands into Google My Business. But Google My Business is an absolutely free service. You can do it yourself. You can import reviews. You can have shoppable links just like Amazon. There's a lot going on there. And there's another thing that you can associate with Google. If you've got really great content, you could get the answer box, which, you know, is the box on first page, which is asking all the questions. And you can create your own shopping network under ShopLoop. So ShopLoop, amazing. If you haven't heard of it, is Amazon's Amazon Live. Or sorry, Google's Amazon Live. Yeah.
So one of the interesting things about, like, and I'm still learning about Google My Business too, and really it should be maintained every day to be effective.
Every day.
Because we're in the fortunate position that we're a media PR company, we can pump out lots of content. So every day we've got new content to put out. Now, not everyone can do that, but I think the moral here is that, you know, the more content you can put out, the better it'll help out that.
Yeah.
So basically, you can use it to have like the same influence as the editorial on Amazon. If you get the table there, it's similar.
For Google, you're correct.
Yeah, for Google, but still.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're doing it on Google. And when Craig was telling me about this, so we brought Craig in, and he was telling me about how he took a car dealership, $55,000 a month in SEO, and got him to under $1,000 in SEO by using Google My Business. And the part, and I'll say it again, Google My Business was for bricks and mortar. There was never a time that you could go out and now target your URL to your Amazon product listing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you can basically use it. You can do it for many products, not just one.
You can do it for, oh my gosh, if you have 20 brands, you can do it for 20 brands. And the other part that I think we're going along where, if we want to talk about content, because of the earned media side of what we do, I don't know, Shane, if you've talked to Nir about this, but the Amazon editorials to get on.
Yeah, we did. We had long discussion in both meetings, so we do.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I just want to tell to our viewers that we are 5 minutes before the end. And it's a great time to ask your last questions at that webinar, at that broadcast, because I believe that we'll see you next week here again. And meanwhile, I want to remind to our viewers that Thursday we have our great room that Norm, I believe, and I hope that you're going to be one of the special guests at your room.
I didn't tell him anything about it.
You didn't tell? Oh, I believe you will.
No, I did.
I believe you will speak about it, but I just want to tell the viewers to not forget to join the room at Thursday. Corona time. We are insulated in our homes, so we don't have any other better things to do. And even if we did, I think this is the best thing that we can do Thursday night. So don't forget it, guys. Okay, I think that we got the greatest, the biggest nuggets of the night, of the evening, right, Nir? About the Google business.
That was amazing, and I thought that I have a nugget. I heard yesterday on Clubhouse people speaking about having their own list of followers, so they'll be able to see them while they are talking on Clubhouse, which is another way of doing things these days. I mean, sellers and influencers and everything is mixed over there, but yours is better, to be honest.
I need to buy iPhone.
You do.
I don't have a clue what it's that Clubhouse or whatever it is.
You have two people that can sell everything to you, so you can just ask them.
I afraid to those people who can sell everything to me, because I will buy it.
You should. So how do you see that? Before we are going, how do you see? It's a tough question. So how do you see this year, let's say the near future on Amazon? Because we had like a lousy year. Amazon was okay for us, and we are fortunate for that. But things are changing with the IPI and everything, and let's say the cheese has moved. People are expecting it to go back, but in most cases it's not going to go back. So how do you see the near future?
Well, inventory. Yeah, it is, but inventory strategy is the key. You've got to monitor your it's not just your IPI, it's your inventory restrictions, right? So you can have a 600 score, have unlimited amount of inventory, but your score for your individual products can still be restricted. So this is where I use rebates, and I move the needle on those. Like if I'm having a tough time with inventory, I just throw out a few rebates, and now all of a sudden the product looks like over a short period of time, people are buying it. My inventory goes up, and then I send it in.
It's a good one. So you're using it for FBM, right?
Yeah, you could use it for definitely you could use it for FBM or FBA. But that's one thing. So monitoring your restrictions. This is a nugget, by the way. One of the things we found out recently, we kept having these restrictions, but we saw that utilization maybe even 150 units extra. So let's say that we were bringing in, it said that you could ship 800, but utilization was 1,000. But it only allowed us to do 850. Well, one of the things that we checked was our old shipping plans. Our old shipping plans. I deleted, or my assistant VA started deleting them based on Amazon recommendation, which I wouldn't recommend anybody listen to Amazon. But anyways, she deleted them, and guess what? The utilization cleared, and all of a sudden we could ship 1,000.
So old shipping plans.
Yeah. Just go into your shipping. Go into your shipping. Scroll down all the plans, and you'll see stuff that'll say it'll still saying receiving or whatever it is, but old, just your old stuff. Click off, delete, and all of a sudden the utilization will come up.
Great,
really
it's a great
one.
nugget as well.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny, guys? Like a few minutes ago, I told you that I need to buy a new iPhone because I want to join SoundCloud.
Yeah, but there's a problem with Norm.
Just a minute ago, I got a personal message, and my messenger is somebody trying to sell me an iPhone.
So there's a problem with Norm. He's basically every night he's sending away iPods or something, but he always writes USA only. And as a personal, you understand where I'm aiming, right? Every night I'm writing. Why only you? Every night I'm writing.
But you can still, apply when we have those gifts for free consulting, or that's okay.
I went to the last two and still I lost.
I'm sorry.
Nah.
Okay, guys. Fun. So I can see that we don't have any more questions. I can see wow and people amazed about your nuggets. Rom just wrote that the old ship and steep is great. Thank you. And I think that until now it was a great webinar. It was a great broadcast. It was like in a different vibes. It was very calm and joyful for me. I hope it was the same for you guys and for our viewers. And Norm, I want to thank you for cleaning your schedule, joining us. Shane, I want to thank you for the nice surprise. And Nir, I want to thank you for making that webinar happening.
No. We need to thank them both for jumping in every month or so.
I believe
cash and prizes work fine.
Cash work fine. Okay. So Nir, prepare your cash. And I believe we will meet each other again in the near room and maybe in future webinars. Thank you again, guys. Thank you to the viewers. We will see us again in the next broadcast next week. We prepared a very nice surprise for our viewers for Amazon Nonstop group. And good night.
All right.
Thank you very much, everyone.
See you.
Bye, guys.